Welcome to the reference course on legal terms and terminology. As you embark on this enlightening journey into the world of AI, tech and law, you'll be introduced to a plethora of terms, concepts, and phrases that form the bedrock of legal studies and practice. Whether you're an aspiring lawyer, a student of law, or simply someone curious about the intricacies of the legal world, this reference course is tailored to provide you with a solid foundation. Legal terms and terminology overview. Before we dive into the intersection of law and technology, most especially artificial intelligence, AI, let's familiarize ourselves with some essential legal terms that you'll encounter in the legal industry. Lawyer, attorney, and counsel. In legal disputes, each side typically has a lawyer. In the US, these professionals might also be called attorneys or counsel. Barrister and solicitor, UK context. Barrister, advocates who represent clients in court. Solicitor, lawyers who mainly work in law firms or offices. They don't usually represent clients in court but will hire a barrister if needed. Judge, court, and justice. Judge, the individual who decides cases. Court, the place where legal cases are heard and resolved. A judge might refer to themselves as the court. Justice, another term for a judge. In the US, all Supreme Court members are called justices. In the UK, the title varies by court level, with terms like my lord or my lady being common. Appeal, appellant, and appellee. Appeal, a process to review a lower court's decision. Appellant, the party that lost in the lower court and is appealing the decision. Appellee, the party that won in the lower court and is defending its decision. Petition, petitioner, and respondent. Petition, another term for an appeal in some courts. Petitioner, the party appealing or requesting a review. Respondent, the party defending the lower court's decision. Statute and ordinance. Statute, a written law passed by a legislative body. Ordinance, a local law or regulation enacted by a municipal government. Plaintiff and defendant. Plaintiff, the person or entity that initiates a lawsuit. Defendant, the person or entity being sued or accused. Tort, a wrongful act leading to civil legal liability, other than a breach of contract. Examples include negligence, assault, and defamation. Contract, a legally binding agreement between two or more parties. Felony and misdemeanor. Felony, a serious crime, often punishable by imprisonment for more than 1 year. Misdemeanor, a lesser crime, often punishable by less than a year in jail. Litigation, the process of taking legal action or suing someone. Deposition, a witness's sworn out of court testimony, used to gather information as part of the discovery process. Affidavit, a written statement confirmed by oath or affirmation, used as evidence in court. Jurisdiction, the authority of a court to hear and decide a case. Precedent, a principle or rule established in a previous legal case that is either binding on or persuasive for a court when deciding subsequent cases with similar issues. Pro bono, legal services are provided for free or at a reduced cost for those who cannot afford them. Habeas corpus, a legal order to bring a person before a court or judge, especially to ensure that the person's imprisonment is lawful. Injunction, a court order requiring a person to do or cease doing a specific action. Lien, a right to keep possession of property belonging to another person until a debt owed by that person is discharged. Power of attorney, a legal document authorizing one person to act on behalf of another. Acquittal, a judgment that a person is not guilty of the crime with which they have been charged. Bail, a sum of money used as a security deposit to ensure that a person released from custody returns at an appointed time. Brief, a written statement outlining the main points of a case, submitted by lawyers to the court. Damages, a monetary compensation awarded to a person who has suffered loss or injury. Discovery, the pre-trial process where both parties exchange evidence and information. Due process, the fair treatment through the judicial system, especially as a citizen's entitlement. Estoppel, a legal principle that prevents someone from arguing something or asserting a right that contradicts what they previously said or agreed to by law. Garnishment, A legal process where a portion of someone's wages or bank account is seized to pay a debt. Hearsay. Evidence based on what a witness has heard someone else say, rather than what the witness has personally experienced. Indictment. A formal charge or accusation of a serious crime. Jurisprudence. The theory or philosophy of law. Malpractice. Improper, illegal, or negligent professional activity or treatment. Notary public. A person authorized to perform certain legal formalities, especially to draw up or certify contracts, deeds, and other documents. Objection. A formal protest raised by a party during a trial, regarding the admissibility of evidence or other procedural matters. Paralegal. A person trained in legal matters who performs tasks requiring knowledge of the law and legal procedures, typically assisting lawyers. Quash. To reject or void, especially in a legal context. Restitution. The restoration of something lost or stolen to its original owner or the compensation for injury or loss. Subpoena. A writ ordering someone to attend a court or produce evidence. Tortfeasor. A person who commits a tort. Voir dire. A preliminary examination of a witness or juror by a judge or counsel. Warrant. A legal document authorizing law enforcement officials to perform a particular act, such as an arrest or a search. Ex parte. A legal proceeding or decision made at the request of one party without the presence of the other party. Fiduciary. A person or organization that owes a duty of trust and confidence to another. Injunction. A court order requiring a person to do or refrain from doing a specific act. Joinder. The act of including an additional party or issue in ongoing litigation. Kiosk. In legal terms, a public terminal that provides access to information, often about court procedures or legal resources. Lien. A claim against property to secure a debt. Mens rea. The intention or knowledge of wrongdoing in criminal law. Nolo contendere. A plea in court meaning no contest. The defendant neither admits nor denies the charge, effectively resulting in a guilty plea. Oath. A sworn declaration that one will tell the truth, especially in a court of law. Pleadings. Written statements filed in court that describe a party's legal or factual assertions about the case. Quid pro quo. Something given in exchange for something else. Res ipsa loquitur. A doctrine that states that the mere occurrence of an accident implies negligence. Statute of limitations. The time within which a lawsuit must be filed. Trust. A legal arrangement where one person holds property for the benefit of another. Ultra vires. Acts that are beyond the legal power or authority of a person or corporation. Venue. The place where a trial is held. Writ. A formal written order issued by a court. Extradition. The process by which one jurisdiction requests and obtains the custody of a fugitive from another jurisdiction. Felony. A serious crime, typically punishable by imprisonment for over a year. Guardian. A person lawfully invested with the power, and charged with the duty, of taking care of a person and managing the property and rights of another person who is considered incapable of doing so. Holographic will. A will that is entirely handwritten and signed by the testator. Impeach. To challenge the credibility of a witness. Juror. A member of a jury. Kidnapping. The unlawful abduction and detention of a person against their will. Liquidation. The process of winding up a company's financial affairs. Moot. A point or issue open to argument or a hypothetical case used for discussion. Negligence. Failure to exercise the care that a reasonably prudent person would in similar circumstances. Offense. A violation of the criminal law. Perjury. Lying under oath. Quorum. The minimum number of members of a body that must be present for business to be conducted. Rebuttal. Evidence presented to counter or disprove evidence presented by the opposing party. Slander. Verbal defamation. Tort. A civil wrong or breach of a duty to another person. Usury. Charging an illegal rate of interest. Void. Having no legal force or effect. Waiver. The intentional and voluntary giving up of a right. Xenophobia. Fear or hatred of foreigners, often addressed in hate crime laws. Yield. To produce or give up, often in legal contexts relating to profit or evidence. Zoning. Laws that regulate and restrict land use. Affiant. A person who makes an affidavit. Beneficiary. A person who benefits from something, especially a trust, will, or insurance policy. Codicil. An addition or supplement that explains or modifies a will. Docket. A calendar or list of cases for trial. Embezzlement. Theft or misappropriation of funds placed in one's trust. Foreclosure. The process of taking possession of a mortgaged property when the mortgagor fails to keep up their mortgage payments. Habeas corpus. A legal order for an inquiry to determine whether a person has been lawfully imprisoned. Injunction. A judicial order that restrains a person from beginning or continuing an action. Joinder. The action of bringing parties together in a legal action. Kinship. Blood relationship. Litigant. A person involved in a lawsuit. Misdemeanor. A minor wrongdoing. Notarize. To have a document certified by a notary public. Ordinance. A piece of legislation enacted by a municipal authority. Probate. The process of proving in court that the will of someone who has died is valid. Recidivism. The tendency of a convicted criminal to re-offend. Stipulation. An agreement between parties in a legal case. Testimony. A formal written or spoken statement given in a court of law. Unlawful. Contrary to or forbidden by law. Verdict. A decision on a disputed issue in a civil or criminal case. As we wrap up our exploration of legal terms and terminology, we hope you found the journey enlightening and empowering. This knowledge forms the foundation of many legal careers, but remember, the world of law is ever evolving. To truly propel your legal career forward, it's crucial to understand the dynamic intersection of law and technology, especially the transformative role of artificial intelligence, AI. Dive deeper into this fascinating realm by visiting 247legals.ai and discover how AI is reshaping the future of legal practices.